Don't worry, darling. No. You see, I took Charles's coat and hat, so even if anyone did see me, the street was so dark, they would have thought it was Charles. Philip, I'm frightened. Are you sure we did the right thing? Darling, when can I see you? I can't go on like this. You're leaving tonight. We were going to go together. Philip, you promised. Philip, don't hang up. Darling. Philip, I love you. You know I love you. What more can I do to prove it to you? If Charles ever found out I took that money. Lieutenant Columbo.
Right here, Miss Chandler.
I'll do anything for you.
I hope you don't mind my watching the TV. You're on.
Oh, no.
I never saw this picture before. George told me.
Oh, isn't that awful? I didn't like it when I made it, and I don't like it any better now.
Really, I found it very interesting.
I hope you'll excuse me. I have a press reception, and then we're shooting process tonight.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll just tag along, and I can fill you in as we go. Is that all right?
Yes.
Listen, that guy Philip in the picture, what does he do? He frame me in the end?
You have seen it.
No. I just had a hunch. From that conversation I just heard, I knew he was no good. I know he's up to something. I just knew it had to be something like that.
Thank you. Have you been able to persuade Mr. Parks to suggest someone who might have...
Oh, yes, ma'am. Those files are his. There's 100 people in there that might have wanted to kill him, only, it's really this flat tire that I wanted to tell you about.
This what?
Miss Davis's, remember? Of course, see, the trouble is, that tire just won't go flat. I mean, not for us. We thought it might be a rim leak, but in all this time, there hasn't been a single bubble.
Oh, that sounds very interesting.
Yes, ma'am, only it does mean I've been sort of wrong. About Miss Davis's death being a mistake, I mean.
About what?
Well, what I mean is if there's nothing wrong with that tire, and it's just been checked out that day when she had the car serviced, well, that means that somebody must have let the air out of it. Do you see what I mean?
No.
Right there in back of the bookstore. Somebody who was watching him, somebody who wanted him to trade cars so that it would just look like Mrs. Davis's death was a mistake. Anyway, I'll tell you what it boils down to. I gotta start all over again. I was wrong.
Oh, you know, you're priceless. Some hoodlum lets air out of a tire and
but the valve stem was nice and tight. And when kids let the air out of the tire, they just loosen it and they run away. Anyway, there are other things. Like that car that was tearing away from the house just after the fire.
Well, what about it?
Well, if the person in that car actually lit the fire, I mean, if it wasn't started by some kind of device or something, well, you don't really believe someone that close couldn't see who was in Mr. Parks' car, couldn't see that it was Miss Davis that was going to be killed.
I haven't the slightest idea.
No, ma'am, that's it. I was wrong before. Dead wrong. Even my bosses agree. It was Miss Davis that the murderer wanted to kill. Clever idea, huh? Mr. Parks, he's got all those enemies. We might never have guessed.
Lieutenant, do you mind? I really have to go.
Well, ma'am, you're the only one that can help me now. I mean, you're the only one that really knew about Jean Davis, and what's worse, I'm afraid, who else besides Mr. Parks could have possibly known where she was going to be that night? And you.
I still think Jean's death was a mistake. It just had to be a mistake.
Just one more thing.